Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fangirlz Assemble. We made it.
We made it, and look, I'm actually here. Things are working. It's wild.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being chills. We kind of worked on stuff, trying to figure out on Sunday. I felt so bad for you because it was, at first, you logged on and you couldn't hear me, but you could see me.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized something on your end, and we worked on it, and then eventually you could hear me for a second, but then your StreamYard crashed.
Yes.
And your computer froze. So we're like, yep. Okay. And so then you rebooted it, and you get back on. You can hear me, but you cannot see me. And then you're also like stuck. But luckily,
lagging,
you're back. You're here.
Maybe it was just a weird internet problem at the time. That's kind of what I'm hoping it was, because I did not do anything special to fix it. Just crossed my fingers today, and it's working, and it worked yesterday. So I'm like,
the lovely snafus of live streaming. You just never know. I've had multiple occasions where I'm just like, I have no idea, or it's streaming, it's live, but I'm like, I literally can't click my mouse or move it, so now I'm stuck here, and all I can do is be like, and I don't know. I can't leave or end the stream. It's like a million things. I'm like, I can't do it. This happens,
Yeah, so sorry about that. It does happen. You know what else happens, though?
What?
Amazing deals daily at InStockTrades.com. Our great sponsor. What? You should check them out. There's so many great things. Should we do it? Should we do the thing?
Let's do the thing.
Do you want to do the thing?
Yeah.
Our deal happens to be up. Wait. Maybe it's not now. I shouldn't say.
I don't know what our deal is, but I feel like it's not up.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
I'm just looking for some anime thing or some cat thing. So unless it's like Batman, Superman, World's Finest, which I doubt.
No, it's not. Okay, so it just ended because Tuesday.
Oh yeah, we've been through some stuff.
But you can still get it. It's Roaming, the new Tamaki book.
Oh.
So you can still get it for a great price, and you should.
I'm super interested in the Sins of Sinister book. I know nothing about it. I'm just curious about it. I won't go through everything else because I want to save that for me to do hauls and reads. Because sometimes if it's lighter, we don't have as much to show. But I at least show the front page. I am very excited about Batman, Superman, World's Finest because I have the first hardcover. I loved it. Very excited for the second. And I have been reading World's Finest Teen Titans. Love that. What is this?
What is that?
Blood Force Trauma.
I don't know.
It looks incredible, but I don't know these people, so I have to check them out first. Make sure they're okay. Whenever I see things like this, I'm like, yeah, it looks really cool. But if it's we're really into the stuff in the 80s, it can go one of two ways, right? Either it's very fun and very is a great homage and super funny and our Kyle Starks kind of people, right? Or it's people that are we miss comics how they were. And so you never know. And so I'm like, let me test. Yeah. There's been multiple occasions where I bring a book. I'm like, oh, I found this book at Half Price Books. And then you message me later and you're like, oh, this guy did some shit. And I'm like, damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you on stream because you just got that book and you're excited about it. But
yeah, it's really too bad.
But you know who hasn't failed except for that one time, but it's not his fault? Junji Ito.
I mean, it's kind of his fault, but that's fine.
Listen, I'm just pretending it's not.
I get it.
It's fine. Anyways, so there's a million Junji Ito books coming out this year.
Yes.
We already had one earlier in the year. Now we've had Soichi, and we have 2 coming out in October. I pre-ordered both of them.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So this is the latest one, Soichi. We're continuing with that line that we've been having so far with Frankenstein and some of the other ones. We have this colorful spine.
Yeah, the story collection ones.
Yeah. And so this one, he was actually in a story, I think in the last one we read.
Yeah, I think so. I was like, I know I've seen him. So he was in something.
Yeah, so in the last anthology book by Ito that we read, I'm pretty sure it included a Soichi story in here, which is a fine standalone where basically his brother really wants some peace and quiet. He needs some quiet to in order to study. And so they had a carpenter come over, especially make him a room so he could study and kind of soundproof it. But as the carpenter's building that, Soichi is also building around that. So it ends up getting closer and closer and closer. So all these layers, Soichi's adding a layer until eventually he's stuck and it's this small or whatever. And so that's when we first saw, you and I first saw Soichi. because I haven't read many of the books, but I always see him come up though, like in all of the
with
pop
the nails.
figures, people cosplay because he has like the nails stuck out. He's got his like crucifixes on his headband.
The candles.
Yeah. But this book I was really excited. I didn't know. I assumed even if I see a full name, I'm like, oh, it'll be an anthology again. I just assume. But this is not. It's all Soichi the entire time. So there is like a continuous story, like we have in Tomie and Uzumaki, but like, you know, kind of their own self-contained, but still within the grander narrative story as you go through here. I guess we just talk about some, but I just want to say I love it. This kid is wild.
He's bonkers. Yeah, it is so great to see another story where we get the same characters throughout. So it is like a short story collection because it is, but they all have to do with this kid. And we did also see, this isn't like a huge spoiler or anything, but we have the return of the model.
Oh, bring her up.
Bring the model. The horrific model from where was she from again? I'm like looking at the book.
Girl, I don't know. Oh wait, I have a picture. I can't remember what book she started in, but she shows up all the time.
Yeah.
This model lady right here. Because I can't remember what story she first brought about, but like since she has shown up, she has continued to be a model, like a famous model, or I guess famous, like in like runways and magazines and fashion shoots throughout these different Junji Ito stories. And I love a recurring bit because you don't have to know anything about this person to enjoy it.
You don't.
But if you've read the other stuff, you know her immediately.
You live for her. Look at her. Beautiful model.
In the Junji Ito like universe. Oh, Eli's good question. Was this a cozy Junji Ito book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very cozy.
Absolutely. I said that the other day and Jess thought I was crazy. And I'm like, but it is. And you feel the same way. Like, they're cozy reads.
Because it's a cozy horror. Because, you know, I enjoy all sorts of horror. I love horror films, horror games. I like being scared. But it's kind of nice to read something that is horrific, right? But you're not scared. It's weird. But it's not like, it's not body horror in the way that like you feel like somebody's dismembering a real person. It's always crazy things that are happening to people that cannot possibly happen. So it's not like I read this like I ought to be scared of this because it's not possible. Like I don't have to worry about my head, like me dying in my head becoming a giant balloon that haunts other people. I don't have to worry about spirals happening. I don't have to worry about like me becoming a shell.
Slug. Yeah.
Or a slug, or like, you know, transforming into a chair. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. And that is the truth, right? They're all just so weird and unique and wild and out there. And that's it, right? Because I don't read this and I'm not scared. I'm not scared of this stuff. Yeah. It's weird and there's a lot going on. Often there's like, you know, people die and stuff, but it's like, okay, so one of let's talk about our favorites throughout this. I think one of my favorites is when he is because it's all surrounding him, he is creating these dolls of people. Right?
Oh, with the teacher.
And he's pretty much like kind of cursing them. Maybe he's like using them as kind of voodoo dolls, but then he somehow magically makes them come to life. And so the first one he starts with, I think, is the teacher, right?
Yeah. So this teacher who's like, because basically Soichi's a weird kid.
Yeah.
He's really weird. He's really unsettling. You see his face. I mean, even from the, like, he's like this shit the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like he's
got the eyes.
He just looks really sweaty and tired.
The classic Ito eyes of a creepy character.
Yeah. And this teacher's like, well, I want to make sure I make a difference with him because I was like him until a teacher made a difference in my life. So he starts hanging around. But like slowly, Soichi we see him like taking all the energy out of his body. So the next time we see the teacher, he looks really gone. Like he looks really thin and just sad. And the next day he's gone. But now there's a puppet in his place. There's a puppet version of him that obviously looks sewn together.
Yes.
And it's so funny.
Teaching. It's so ridiculous. And I love like, because, you know, Soichi always has the nails in his mouth, right? So he sometimes spits nails at people. he's, that's happening. So then
Yeah.
these dolls, at least this teacher, right, starts playing with him and spitting nails at him too. And it's like, who? Every time I read a story of his, I'm just like, I would never have thought of this.
No.
I've never seen anything like this. And it works. It's just like, yes, this works. And I'm so interested in what happens to these weird doll teachers. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, he comes to school, ends up teaching in the classroom, right? But he looks like a Muppet. The way he's sewn together, like he looks like he should run like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he runs real weird, and you can tell. And it's
and
like
he's just playing around with Soichi, and the way he's teaching doesn't make any sense. You're like, why are we doing 3 different subjects at one time? I don't understand. And he's just like, nah, like screw you, kid. Like he's only here for Soichi, and he does the same with like a few other like staff members, other people. And just like the way they put together is really goofy and just fun.
There's a moment where like another teacher, she gets fire, another doll teacher, like students go after her, she gets fire like on her face, and like it comes off. Yeah. And you can see like the stuffing and stuff. So it's not even like, that's not horrific or scary. It's just like it's kind of hilarious, really. And just so fun and wild. And I had a good time with that one. That one was really fun.
Well, I like the whole lead up in this one because like when we read the story before, we just saw like Koichi and his brother and his parents. And like the whole lead up to this whole thing was their cousins come to visit. And they've never been here, but they're really excited. They really enjoy it. They're from Tokyo, so they're excited to be in a rural area. And they're having a good time until Soichi shows up and he's being really weird. And he's messing with them. And the whole family's really normal, nice, and they're just like, yeah, that's Soichi, like he says he sucks on these nails because he's trying to get the iron in there, but really
because he has an iron deficiency. Yeah.
Like he's like spitting the nails at them. He's trying to take her blood, but he says it's not her blood. It's really weird. And he's very honed in on like the girl cousin, of like making her life miserable. And he just continues to do this. Like he's like, I cannot wait till she gets back here, so I can make her regret the day. Regret the day she was born. And he's just rude to everybody. And they're like, we'll get him.
Yeah, and the parents are just like, we can't control him. And I'm like, parents, wake up! What's happening? Can we just with this one in particular? Look at him! Look at this guy!
Gosh,
I loved the cover of that one so much. It made me laugh.
I don't know which one's my favorite. I did really like the grandma issue because she was really weird.
Yeah.
And
which I think was this birthday one. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a conversation. They're like, why is Soichi like this? All the rest of you are super normal, and he's a total weirdo. And like, well, he gets it from grandma. And they show a picture of grandma, and she looks wild. The same. She's really creepy.
Yeah.
And she keeps giving these prophecies that don't turn out to be true.
Yeah.
And finally she was at a prophecy that's like, hey, you're gonna have twins. And then ultimately she doesn't. I mean, the mom only gives birth to Soichi, but she's like, no, I'm holding the baby. She's holding this phantom baby. She names him. And then she and Soichi hang out. Soichi talks to like the not real twin brother. And they're like, oh, she just disappeared one day. She never came back. And then that poor cousin, never forget, finds her in the closet. It's like, oh my God, dude. And she's like, what are you doing in here? Don't you knock? It's just goofy.
Those poor cousins.
I am excited for like, I know they're doing another Junji Ito animation, which I always worry about, but this next one is definitely black and white the whole time. Good. I'm like, that's what you should have done the whole time. Adding color to this, it takes it away.
It makes it weird. Like you and I have said this before, but we're like, if this was a color edition, it would feel so much different. It wouldn't be quite as cozy, Elon,
No, I think it would be creepier.
It'd be way creepier, and maybe Ito would like that. It's way creepier, but that's not what I'm in here for. I'm like, there's going to be creepy elements. It's horror. It's so strange, but at this point, it's just like, it's a little, you know what it is? It's a little Twilight Zone-y.
It is very Twilight Zone, yeah.
I think about, and those were black and white episodes, and it's kind of the same deal. It's like, there's just something weird happens.
I was actually about to mention that because Elon said I really want an Ito Aro-san collab. And like, really, if you grew up reading Goosebumps, maybe this is something you would like. I didn't, but I'm assuming I watched some of like the movies or whatever. I assume this is a similar feel because it's like really crazy, weird situations. But,
Yeah, that's fair.
I will say, I always recommend Ito books for friends that aren't even in the manga, because as far as like a horror genre thing, it's just there's nothing in here that feels like any manga stereotype. So if you don't like the style of storytelling in manga, because it is very different from Western comics, this is like on its own from anything. It's hard for me to even relate it to like other manga, because it doesn't have any of the same tropes, doesn't have any of the same things you normally see. The art style is completely different.
I was gonna say, even the art. I mean, it's just
especially this because it's older.
Yeah, right. But it's not like that classic like big eyes that people assume is all manga, you know.
Because he is a little more realistic with it. I mean, you know, given the goofiness. And actually, another good thing about this book is that sometimes Ito, as we've talked about, falls prey to same face syndrome. And I did not see that in here. I thought it was pretty good. It was very well rounded. I love this little guy. I think this is going to be up there because I love a Ito single story plot more than I like it. I mean, I love anthologies still. I love them all. But if you're like, hey, you want to read some Ito for the weekend, I'd be like, okay, now this will be up there with like Tomie and Uzumaki for me, because like you can just read through it and it's a good time. I agree. It's less intense than Uzumaki and Tomie for sure.
Well, yeah,
but like it's way better than Gyo.
Oh yeah, that's
no question.
I mean, my Ito list, that one's at the bottom, except the one under that, of course, is No Longer Human.
Yeah,
which is way under it, because like that's just underground at that point, right?
I'm a Uzumaki Tomie, and mostly everything else is just kind of like within. And then there's like some short stories that are within a multiple, like the hole in the wall.
Oh yeah,
and the chair one. I'll never get over the chair one.
The chair one's so good. It's so good.
I think about that anytime I see an armchair.
Yeah, you're like, someone's in that.
I just want to talk to him. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, how do you
like? What are the notes you take during the day? Do you just? I just want to I want to get into that mindset.
Someone's in a chair. Yeah, like how do you
Yeah.
This kid loves sucking on nails.
Like if it was gonna be about us, our situation like streaming and stuff, I'd be like, okay, eventually you just stream so much that you don't have other body parts. It's literally just this, and this is it only exists in like a rectangle forever. The hair one, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the hair one's good.
Oh, which there's so many though. I like the one where it comes out of her face. Just hoping because it's a long, beautiful hair, but it's just coming out of like. Man,
so many good ones.
It's just stuff. But yeah, this is very good.
I agree. I also just aesthetically, can we just talk about this cover and how there are nails for his eyes, which I just love. What a great addition. And the cover itself, I think, is just awesome. It's so cool. And the purple really pops.
It does.
Here he is with like a coffin on the spine. It's just a nice little hardcover.
Oh, I forgot about that one too. That was also
the coffin.
Grandfather. Man, Soichi's a jerk. This kid is like just a total jerk.
Yeah.
He does not appreciate anyone or anything. Except for he likes that one girl at school who's like, nah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
But just like ordering on his grandpa, like, hey, make me a coffin. And he did. It's a nice coffin. He's like, no, I want a Western style like Dracula. Because Dracula's my favorite.
Because he wanted to like suck people's blood like Dracula.
Yeah, but with like nails.
Yeah. Normal, it's fine.
But then he didn't, I guess. Like when he did like, the snow cone deal. Like the shaved ice, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Weirdo. I wish I was more into horror and I would check this out, but way more often than not, I don't like the horror books I've read. Yeah, this is one that like, I don't know. I feel like it's special compared to other horror books, but then again, I'm not a good judge of that because I like horror.
Yeah, Chris, I'd be curious what horror books you've read and not liked. And I think that would give us kind of a bar of like what, you're like, no. Because I feel like there are different genres and variations and, a lot of subgenres. I don't even know where I would put this again because it's so strange and different.
Ito's so separate. I just don't think you can.
Yeah.
I feel like Ito's the one that's setting the standard for his niche in the genre, that I'm more likely to have a book and be like, oh, this is like Ito. The only thing close would be like Lovecraft, but it's not really. I only say Lovecraft because Lovecraft like did a lot of like, here is a being and a monster that you can't quite perceive, and Ito's like, no, what if you merge with a chair? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah. What about that?
That's wild. What if you saw a hole in a cavern and you were like, you just were like, oh man, I'm made for that hole, and then you fall, you get into there and you get stuck.
and then you like stretch out because the hole keeps getting smaller and smaller as you go through it.
It's basically like a toddler's talking to you, you know? Just describe any like Junji Ito thing and just as if you're like a toddler. Like that would work really well.
That's funny. I can see that too. With like the toddler voice too, right?
What if
what if there was a hole that was made for me?
Now I'm trying to think of other stories to do it too, because it's so funny. I don't know. What if you ate some hair because you thought it would make your hair real long, but didn't? It just put hair on your face.
Yeah, exactly. It's so good. It's so good.
What? So I stopped and tell you guys about Christopher Chaos because I'm impatient and can't wait till tomorrow.
What?
What's Christopher Chaos?
I don't know.
Oh,
should I know? We're both like Google.
Oh, it's a book series by James Tynion. I love Tynion.
Okay.
Wait, is that what it is, or is it the official website of U.S. Army veteran YouTuber Christopher Chaos? I don't know if I'll like him. He seems like a lot, and I was never in the Army. The color book that I'm reading, is that... You mean comic book? Autocorrect? It looks good, this thing.
Yeah.
How does Shigeru Kago compare to Ito's work? Who's that?
I was gonna. You guys are naming things we don't know. We're like, what's up?
You're just like, they'll get it. I'm like, no. Dementia 21. Did you read that?
Oh, I did. I loved it. Yeah.
Okay. I've never read any of this.
How does it compare? I felt like it was. Well, I don't know that I loved it. I really liked it, but I felt like it was very Ito-esque, except it was all like old people. And it was great. And I think if you like Ito, you're going to like that. So I think, if you've read Dimension 21, you're also going to like Ito. I think they go hand in hand, really. Because it's also so weird. And I didn't like it as much as Ito, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I want to try that. Because there's a few, like, Japanese horror manga I want to try. Like, The Cat-Eyed Boy.
I really want to read that one, too. Yeah.
And then there's that other one I keep seeing. I keep forgetting the name of it, but it's a girl with really big eyes, like a classic Japanese horror manga. But I can't remember what it's called. If I see it, I know, but I don't. I want to read some more horror manga for October.
Hold on a second. I may have it.
Okay. Yay. Orochi. That's probably right.
Yeah, that one.
Actually, I don't know if that's the one, but I do want to read that.
Oh, okay. Well, I have volume 1.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I haven't opened it, but it does look good.
Let's add to the list.
Ooh, fun in pages.
I remember now. It's Be Very Afraid of Kaneko Inuki.
Oh, I want to read that one too. I think I have that.
Let me highlight that because
Yeah, I have that. I have that too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pick a couple of manga things.
Let's do it.
Look at this.
Yeah, because I haven't read that either.
That looks so cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's amazing. Not the YouTuber. Not something I would promote.
Okay,
I was
cool.
like, that's odd. Yeah, let me do some manga for October.
Yeah, I like that too.
I'm hoping this week I'll have the executive function to plan October because that's kind of what I want to do, but I have to wait until my brain cooperates with me.
That's fair.
I'm sure you fellow comic book readers understand. I'm sure we all have anxiety and mental illness, right? I just, why else?
That's how we roll.
Spend a lot of money collecting comic books.
All the money we're not, using for our therapy and prescriptions.
Yep. Oh, I'm still doing that too. That's why I'm not buying any books.
Same.
You know, I do that. When my therapist asked me about comic books, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. That's weird.
like your therapist is like, hey, recommend me some comic books.
Well, no, she's like, so what kind of stuff? What kind of things? Because she's like, you need to be more open about the things you like and be unmasked, right? Because here with you guys, I'm myself.
Sure.
But in the real world, it's very different, Maddie. Very different.
I get it.
And she's like, you should just tell people. I'm like,
I mean, listen, you could tell people. Be like, yo, I like comics. Because I do that. And people
let people know that, but I don't go into
Sure.
You know what I mean?
You also work with cooler people than I do.
I don't know about that.
There's some cool people I work with.
I did have one coworker ask me who had a Jujutsu Kaisen shirt on.
Ooh.
And she wore it out the work function. I was like, and she's respected. I'm like, oh my God. I want to do that.
You can do it.
I want to be that.
You can be that.
That's my goal with my life. I'm working on it.
You can be that.
It's just a small goal. It's be myself with others.
I really totally get it. Listen, Maddie.
Plot twist, Maddie's therapist watches these videos.
Oh,
no, I got it.
Yeah.
It'd be neat if she did, but I think it's best if she doesn't.
I think that's for the best. Don't cross that line. Yeah.
No, I assume she doesn't exist outside of that office, and I want her to assume I don't.
Yeah. That's how that works.
There. Yeah.
I understand. I think you and I need to get together soon and discuss these things because I relate to it. We can discuss these things. We can have our own therapy session.
Hell yeah.
And you know what else we can have?
What?
Extra bread. And that's all I'm going to say. We're going to have extra bread. Because I'm thinking about it right now and I want it so bad.
That's right. Well, luckily, I watch mental health videos on YouTube all the time.
There you go.
Constantly.
Love that. Love that.
I'm already like, okay, which fidget toys do I want to buy and put in my new purse? Because I'll have to buy a new purse because mine's old and dirty. Clean it. No. You use the same purse for 2 years and then you buy a new one. You throw that one away. It's not salvageable anymore. And that's your opportunity of reorganizing your life. My therapist suggests I started collecting floppies again. I don't think that's true.
Are you sure?
I don't think that's
Who's your therapist?
I didn't really like Night Eaters, Homesick Pilots. My thing is monsters. I haven't read the last two, but I love Night Eaters. And that second volume comes out next week. That's coming out soon.
Yeah. I feel like Night Eaters is kind of its own thing too, though. Do you know what I mean? There was certainly
it's weird.
It's weird and
it's not for everybody. I liked it a lot, but it's not for everybody.
It's not. Not that Ito is either, but I think it's more universal.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I love Night Eaters, but anything that team does, I'm like, give me.
Chris, I feel like maybe if you're at all interested, hit up your library. I assume your library may have some Ito. And if they don't, ask them to buy you some Ito if you're at all curious.
Or just read
I do think it's really different than, you can read the cat one, which is great.
Yes, I'm sure. I don't think they realized what they were telling me to do. I can't stop now. Yeah, it's very important that no one in my life, except for friends, no professional, right? It's like, yeah, you can do this. No.
That's a bad idea.
I want a hard line. This brain right here, this lack of impulse control, no. Hard line. It's like when I was ever trying to do something healthy for myself. My mom would be like, you need to go that hard. I'm like, you just set up a series of events now. You've opened the door. You don't need to do that much. I'm like, well, now I'm not going to do it at all.
You're like, don't do this to me. Yeah.
Can't. You got to make a choice.
It's understandable.
And I'm going to make a choice to eat some pizza now.
Hey, what a great choice.
So.
And I do real quick want to address Elon, what you're saying.
Didn't you just read it?
You will want to watch the video that I'm putting out really soon. That's all I'm going to say. You're going to want to watch it, Elon. I can't say more. There we go.
An update from the last time I saw you, Halo Jones was fine. I know.
Everybody's like, what? You're like, what's that?
Oh, okay. I remember now. My brain's broken.
That's because you need pizza.
It is because I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go watch. I think Wednesday night's my movie night with a friend, and I think tonight is 2 like anime movies. I can't remember which ones, but I feel like one's Secret of Nim. She's trying some movies I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a movie you need to watch. You've probably seen it, but if you haven't,
I haven't seen many movies though.
well, I thought I've seen a ton of movies. Serial Moms from the 80s.
No.
Okay,
Not
girl,
familiar.
it's
Okay,
so funny. Watch it by yourself or watch it with Reed. I think you'd like it too.
Okay.
It's made by John Waters, same guy who did like Hairspray.
Okay.
But it's this woman. She's like a stay-at-home mom, and like more of a classic like homemaker type. But then she goes crazy and then starts wanting to kill people, but she just has no chill about it, and it's so funny. And it's like for like the smallest things, like someone not recycling in the neighborhood, and she gets like really upset about it.
Nice.
I rooted for her the entire time. I was like, oh, that bitch wronged you. Go get her. Get her. Don't even check to see if there's blood on your heels. Who cares? You do what you want to do. 2 in one day? All right. I cannot believe I've never watched that.
Fans in the chat?
It's so good. I can't believe I've never seen it. I want to watch it again already because I need to watch the Elliot. I think this is going to be a yearly thing for me.
Love that.
Killed it. So good. James, you know I love Why Women Kill. All right. Before I head off, Elliot told me when I got home that all he can think about, he watched a video about a Scotch egg. He's like, I just have one goal in life now, is to eat a Scotch egg. Elliot. And he described to me the process of making a Scotch egg.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's all I can think about.
They're so good. I have had a Scotch egg. Reed and I had one together probably last year, the year before. Yeah. They're so good.
Did it make your marriage stronger?
I think so. I think we really bonded over it because I was the first like skeptical. I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But it's very good. Yeah.
I've never had one. It's like a breakfast Cadbury.
I would disagree because I don't like Cadbury's, but but yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right. Well, this was lovely. I'm glad everything worked. We'll be back on Sunday with lights, which I have in my house.
Very, very exciting. And also, I'll be back tomorrow on my channel with Mary. So if you want a reading update, head there.
There you go.
And check out InStockTrades.com.
That's right. We'll see you all next time.
Bye.